So I know several of you have had some issues coming up with a hypothesis, and I'll just give you a quick example um, of something that would work for developing your hypothetical lab report. So basically, I want it to be something that is kind of geared down to oh. Like at the grade school level or even high school level, just to make this process a little easier. And then the main point of doing this exercise is developing a hypothesis. And what is a hypothesis? Well, a hypothesis is it's an educated guess. It's something where that and it's usually referred done in the realm of science, but it's where a researcher, a scientist, understands what they're observing. They have some expertise or knowledge in the field. I'm going to use a just sort of a lay example of how a hypothesis is constructed, and then you can apply that to something else in sort of a grade school or middle school or high school level that could be taught at how the hypothesis works. So in constructing a hypothesis, I used to take I had an old GMC pickup truck, and I took it to I call it a shade tree mechanic, but I took it to a local mechanic, and he had worked with vehicles for years, decades and decades. His name was Junior Bumbleow. He's since passed away, but he was just incredible at knowing how to sense what was wrong with the car. Now, it wasn't intuition or anything like that. It was experience, just like a researcher in the field or a researcher in science has experience and knowledge in what they research or what they work on. And so the same goes true for this mechanic, and he worked with vehicles, cars, especially American made. He was very good with those kind of cars. So my GMC pickup truck had an issue where it was sort of bouncing around when I came to a stop sign. Now I had just replaced the brakes. So it was confusing me. Now, I'm not a mechanic, I'm a biologist, environmental scientist, and can change the oil, but that's about as far as it goes. So I took my truck to Junior Bumbleow, and he looked at it, got in the truck, and we rode around a little bit, and not too long after riding in the truck and feeling how it behaved when I would come to a stop sign, he said, "Oh, it's the calipers that are bad." Now, he was able to make this prediction based on experiences from the past and knew the way the truck was behaving when I applied the brakes, that it was probably the caliper system that was bad. And so sure enough, he replaced the calipers that appeared to be worn out, and it fixed the problem. So he didn't carry out any more experimentations. He conducted an observation and took a corrective measure, and it fixed the problem. But his statement, "It is the calipers that is bad or that are bad," would be the hypothesis for him, and it was able to be supported by the fact that when he replaced the old calipers, it fixed the problem, thus supporting his statement. So it's an educated speculation, and that educated part is very important. That it's not just a blind guess. So to just say that if I stand out in the rain, I'm going to get wet. Now, no, that's something that is not really even a speculation, or so it's got to be something that you have knowledge about, that you can make a prediction. I've done this before. I've carried a vacuum cleaner into the class that is in obvious need of repair. I plug it in and it doesn't work. Now, most people have some experience and knowledge with vacuum cleaners. I don't know that I'd call myself a vacuum cleaner expert, but it's a good tool to get people to think. And I'm like, okay, what's wrong with that? And so we look at it. Maybe I give them a little bit of vacuum cleaner 101, and talk about here's how you turn it on and off, and here's the bag that you replace, and here's the filter, and here's a fuse, and here's whatever, some different features of the vacuum cleaner. And so we can start making speculations. Why is the vacuum cleaner not turned on? Well, maybe it's the outlet. Maybe the outlet's dead. Maybe there's a reset button on the outlet. Or maybe there's a short in the cord. Or maybe the fuse is blown in the vacuum cleaner. And we start making all these speculations based on some knowledge that we know. And sure enough, it was the fuse. It was bad. I'm just making that up. And we replaced the fuse, and the vacuum cleaner works. So that was an educated speculation. Hey, I bet it's the fuse that's bad. And we check it, and sure enough, it is. So I'm looking for something like that, something that can be tested and then supported with either evidence or experimentation. It doesn't have to be complex. I just want to know that you understand that that hypothesis is sort of driven by the fact that you have knowledge of the material or knowledge of the subject, and you're making a prediction, an educated speculation or guess, not a blind guess, and not a statement of something that you already know that that's going to happen. I hope that helps, and I look forward to looking at your work. Thanks a lot.